Next tonight, East Midlands Today can reveal that specialist riot squads are being called to this region's jails about once a week.
Figures we've obtained through a Freedom of Information request show that the number of incidents has risen sharply. Our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball reports.
Ashwell in Rutland after prisoners went on the rampage, a jail so badly damaged that it had to be shut down. The trouble was brought under control by specially trained officers with riot gear, and now there's a dedicated unit called the National Tactical Response Group that's being used more and more frequently. The Ministry of Justice says its officers were called to 18 incidents at jails in this region in 2012. Last year that increased to 57 call-outs to prisons here in the East Midlands. That's an average of more than one a week.
We're massively concerned. The increase is because we have now got a prison population that is basically out of control. We have less staff to deal with them inside those prisons. They're more likely now, because they know there's less staff to deal with them, they're more likely now to take a chance and assault a member of staff.
Here at Nottingham Prison, there have been persistent concerns about levels of violence, and the riot team's been called to this jail more than 30 times since the start of 2012. Some of those incidents involved inmates taking hostages, or what's described as concerted indiscipline. The prison service says the National Tactical Response Group is used for a variety of incidents. It says most don't involve violence, and they're sometimes called as a precaution. But 7 years after Ashwell was so badly damaged, there have been more serious disturbances at jails here in the East Midlands, and demand for the prison riot squads shows no sign of abating.
Well, Jeremy Ball is here now. Jeremy, is this an issue across the whole of the prison system?
Yeah, these call-outs have risen right across England and Wales. In fact, last year, nationally, the Tactical Response Group dealt with about one incident every day. Here in the East Midlands, though, there do appear to be hot spots, as well as Nottingham Jail. Most of the calls came from the Young Offenders Centre at Glenparva and from 3 other prisons at Leicester, at Ramby and at Ladham Grange.
And what's being done to tackle these serious incidents?
Well, the government's announced some very big reforms recently to try to modernise the prison system, to try to make it safer. I think it is going to be a real battle, though, because these new figures follow a wider pattern, really. Just recently, we heard that more people in our jails are ending up in hospital. We heard that there have been more of those disruptive protests known as incidents at height. And in fact, just a couple of weeks ago, there was a report on Nottingham Prison that said drugs are still a big problem there, and blamed that for a spate of attacks, both on staff and on fellow inmates.
OK, we'll leave it there. Jeremy Ball, thanks very much.